Hey guys, welcome to one of my first speed designs. I don't really find it a build because I'm not actually building anything. I am just designing an apartment that is already in place. So I did already do a couple edits to it before I started filming it because it was brought up to me that, hey, maybe I should film this and people can see me design it instead of just having it a thing. And I was like, okay, I guess I can do that. Never done it before, but it's always a good time to try something new. So here I am. I normally don't design things while I'm filming. I'm normally a lot slower with what I'm doing. I spend a lot of time throwing things down, looking at what they do, and then deciding, nope, I don't want it. I think I delete things a lot often, which I have been told before removes money. I'm not sure if it still does that or not, though. But I did decide it was a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, like little apartment. For one, it needed to be 2 bedrooms because it's her and her toddler. So I did open it up, and I wanted the theme of it to be very colorful. She's a colorful person. She's young. She's like probably maybe a couple years out of high school. I feel like she probably went to community college a little bit and then was like, I don't want this. She didn't want a normal job. We'll just leave it at that. You can find out more about her and her toddler in the actual series that I'll be doing, which should be up real soon, hopefully. And she just loves color. And so she moved out here, and I need to stop saying and. That's what I need to do. but she made this place, and this is an area that she's not used to. She's never been to the city. This is her first time. She's out by herself. She doesn't know anybody. So she decided she wanted her house to be her sanctuary. And so she opened it up, and it's gonna be very colorful, full of plants, because that's what makes her happy. I'm just gonna convoy from that and be like, hey, look at those. Aren't those awesome? I don't know if they were new, or I've never noticed them when I was playing my own singular game. I loved those bedposts. And I was like, they would make a cute, little just seating area to put things on. And so I did decide to do that. Couldn't help myself. Now you'll see I'm just kind of making her room homely. And then I'm also moving on to the child's room, which you will see. There's a lot to choose from, I feel like. I don't have the kids pack, so I don't have as much as some people might do. But I felt like that there was actually a lot to choose from. And so I was going through a lot, being like, what do I want? Right off the bat, and I was like, well, I want that little the little iPad, a little electrical device. Wow, making me sound old. Yeah, I wanted the iPad for the child to use. I wanted this dollhouse. I did end up giving up on the dollhouse altogether. I feel most people really like the dollhouse and they want it, but it just was so big. I don't remember dollhouses. I know they're big, but I didn't think they needed that much room. I never needed that much room for a dollhouse. So I did decide to completely void it. I did try to put it back in. As you see right now, I tried being like, maybe I could stick it here. I was like, no. You need room to walk around the room. So I was like, okay, no, we'll just leave it. So I have kind of shifted it around, and I wanted more color in the room. So I decided to put those in. I might deny that later and get rid of it. But for now, it will stay. I feel like now that I'm looking at it a little bit later, I'm like, ugh, why did I do that? And so I also wanted to just bring in color, and so I thought that cute little fake flower plant was really pretty. I actually wanted to put a plant behind the area where the little tubs are, but I just never got around to it. And so I was like, oh well, maybe it will pop up there at some point. You'll just see me when I'm buying stuff. I'll just be like, yeah. So here is me going through that. I have never seen this one before. I was like, this light is beautiful. And so I put that in the mother's room, and then was like, no, I can't have that in there though. So here's me just going through all these lights being like, these lights are huge. The lights are huge. So I was like, I want something simple. And so I found this light and I was like, this is a nice simple light. So I stuck it in there and I kind of like looked at other lights because there was a lot of lights I hadn't seen before. I do tend to design a house, but I don't tend to pay attention to what the light looks like. This is one of the few times that I actually was like, let's put in pretty lights because I want to. And instead of being like, oh, I forgot light. Which you did notice as you were watching the video, I did take a little bit to actually put a light in. If it hadn't been for me thinking, oh god, this probably looks horrible for people to watch because there's no light. Like, I have made houses and forgotten to put light in a couple times. So I was like, okay. But again, here we continue on. We're in the kitchen. I wanted it very simple. I was like, well, this is probably what came with the house. We're gonna say this is what came with the house, even though I did bulldoze the whole thing and put in my own stuff. But this is what came with the house, so the basic stuff is gonna be very simple. You know, things that would already been in there. But I still want to bring in color to every room. So you will see I start out with a very white, like everything's white or glass. Very simple, you know, because partly was a lot of the extra stuff that you could get, I couldn't find that matched the white. And I felt like, well, it'd be more like an owner to put in like something simple and then you as a person having to find stuff that will go with it. So like, let's keep the white. I like that. And then I also like that she's slowly adding in more stuff with color. So you will see I will start slowly adding color and I will find ways to merge the two things together. It just looks like a royal mess right now, but it will get better, I promise. So here's me trying to put color in and being like, nope, this doesn't work. I went back to what it was and I was like, no. Then I decided, well, the room before I did like really bright wallpaper and I was like, I don't really want really bright wallpaper. Like I looked at it and I said, no, well, let's do really light. And I was like, but I don't also want to do the purple like I did before. And there was no like rich purple, like pink color that matched the other thing in a way that I liked it. But this light blue really matched. So I went with that. And as you can see, we have the haunted apartment building. So the only thing that I was unable to get rid of was that plaque. And so I ended up having to kind of work around the plaque, which you will see when I get a little bit further. I did decide to use a, I've forgotten the name of it, the desk. Oh, the coffee table. That's the word. The coffee table with the plants underneath. In my head, I had that moment of, this is where she keeps her herbs. I don't know if that actually is a thing that could happen or work, but I did decide to go with that. It brought that earth into all the color, and it added a little bit more color because it added some green. Because I didn't want to physically add any green in. I wanted all the green to be plants. So it had like 3 distinct colors in there, but most of the stuff had multiple, and then maybe like 1 or 2 kind of stand out color. But I wanted to keep it very simple. Because you get too much color, it just kind of gets ugly, and I didn't want that. But I did go with the very like simple and useful. And so you can see I'm kind of just going through everything, deciding what I want, what I don't want. I really wanted some more color over I really wanted more color in the kitchen. And the only way that I ended up finding a good way to add color is putting this in. And I hated how it looked. Like, you can see me trying to overlap. Didn't look good. Said, okay, no. And so I ended up just sticking it there. And being like, could I move this over? And I felt like I just wished it was just over a little. So it made more sense, but it wasn't. So I was like, oh well. Maybe at some point I'll trade and I will move the stuff so that the sink and the stove are switched. That might fix the issue, maybe. I might try that, because it still bothers me. It might just be me though. So I really wanted to put an easel in. And here is where I find the issue, where there's just this one wall that you can't put anything on. That's like the perfect little space to put something. But the plaque is there. So I was like, you know what? I want this bookcase. I love the little blue lining on the bookcase. And I wanted the easel for her to be able to use the easel, because art is fun. And she's just free loving, wants fun. And she likes cooking and art and everything beautiful. So I was like, you know what? Let's make it happen. So I just moved that. And this is where I had my boyfriend behind me, and he's like, what are those? And I was like, oh, they're like the dancing mats. Because he hadn't played this in forever. And I was like, well, those are dancing mats. And I suddenly decided, I really like the dancing mats. They make a better like version of what I was looking for than the actual mats themselves. And here is where I found this one. I was like, oh my goodness, this is beautiful. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. And I felt like it just fit. Just fit with the fiery, pretty, like glowy, because it added the glow that we had in the other room and brought it into the front room as well. Because she just likes it glowy and pretty. And this is where I was like, okay, I need to do the bathroom. And I only had like 5,000 funds left. And I was like, okay, well, there's not too much that goes into the bathroom. So I was like, okay, I need a bath for her to take care of the toddler. And I needed, 2 other things. And I was like, well, how do I fit these into this small little bathroom? I did think about making the bathroom bigger by 1. And I said, no, let's just keep it as is, because that's how the apartment came with. It came with this tiny little bathroom. And so easily enough, it'd probably be difficult that you don't have a lot of space. So I left it with that. But I did change up the colors. I did find out that you could not see that wall no matter what I did. It was making me so mad. But I was too lazy to take out the shower bath. I just left it there. I thought about moving it, and then I was like, no, then I would have to move it back. I don't feel like doing that. And at most time, you're only going to see that anyways. So I was like, who cares? At this point, who cares? Not I. Some poor watcher I'm probably driving them crazy right now, but that's what I went with. And that's pretty much it. At this point, everything's done. I will bring the game back to life, and I'll have her sit down to make sure it works. And there we go. There you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed.